I didn't know it then. But the moment I corrected my boyfriend about his dog's name was the moment my entire world would start falling apart. The moment everything sweet, soft, and innocent between us would unravel like damp paper in a storm. But let me start from the beginning. The exact moment the truth first cracked through the surface. We were sitting at this warm, cozy brunch cafe downtown. You know the kind. Brick walls, soft yellow lights, overpriced omelets you pretend are worth. The money because the vibes are immaculate. Evan sat across from me, scrolling through his phone while I stirred my iced latte, watching the caramel streaks swirl around like tiny storms. He suddenly brightened up. Okay, he said with a grin, turning his phone toward me. I know you've been waiting for this. Here he is, this is my boy. On his screen was a zoomed-in picture of the cutest, scruffiest little mutt I'd ever seen. His ears were too big, fur sticking out at every angle like he lived inside a wind turbine. I squealed before my brain could catch up. Oh my God, he's so cute. What's his name? Evan laughed. Johnny Thornberry. Named him after that wild cartoon kid from the Wild Thornberries. He was the craziest little puppy, running into everything. I blinked. Wait, Johnny Thornberry? Babe? His name was Donnie Thornberry. Not Johnny. Evan paused. His smile flickered, then vanished. No way, it was Johnny. I watched that show obsessively. I pulled up Google, showed him the result, and for a split second it was adorable watching his jaw drop. Holy, you're right. His name is Donnie. Oh God. I've been calling him Johnny for 4 years. He's gonna have an identity crisis. I laughed and nudged him. Relax, he's a dog, not a philosophy major. He smiled, but something in his eyes shifted. Just a tiny flicker, a ripple in calm water. Something that didn't feel like embarrassment. Something darker. I didn't know it then, but that tiny correction hit him somewhere fragile. After lunch, Evan was quieter than usual. Not silent, not angry, just restrained, like he was holding back a storm behind his teeth. I brushed it off. People get embarrassed. It happens. But that night, when we were in his apartment and I went to pet his dog, Johnny, I said jokingly, Hey Johnny. Daddy gave you the wrong name your whole life. Evan stiffened, hard. His jaw clenched, his shoulders locked, his eyes sharpened like I'd insulted his entire bloodline. That's enough, he said. His tone wasn't playful. It wasn't teasing. It wasn't anything I recognized. I froze. Babe, I was joking. He didn't answer. He just turned and walked into his office, shutting the door behind him like he was sealing a vault. Over the next few days, something changed. Small things at first. Evan got more territorial, more defensive, more sensitive about harmless little details. If I corrected him on something tiny, like the name of a restaurant, the time a movie released, even the color of a shirt, he'd stiffen, clench his fists, then withdraw. But what bothered me most was the way he started repeating the same phrase. Don't try to make me look stupid. I laughed the first time he said it. I thought he was joking. He wasn't. The breaking point happened at a game night with his friends. Harmless, silly adult game night. Wine, snacks, board games. Laughter in every corner of the room. Until someone mentioned cartoons from the 90s. One of his friends joked, Dude, remember Donnie from the Wild Thornberries? That little gremlin child? I smiled. Funny story. Evan actually thought his name was Johnny for years. I said it lightly. Soft. Playful. Sweet. Just a teasing girlfriend joke. But Evan's face went stiff immediately. His friends laughed, not at him, just at how cute the mistake was. But Evan's eyes darkened. He didn't say anything then. Didn't smile. Didn't laugh. But the temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. When we got home, he exploded. The door wasn't even fully closed before he spun around, eyes blazing. Do you enjoy embarrassing me? I stared at him. Evan, what are you? Don't play dumb. He snapped. He stepped closer. You humiliated me in front of my friends. My stomach twisted. What, Evan, it was a tiny joke? You always do this, he hissed. Always correcting me. Always pointing out mistakes. Like you want everyone to think I'm some kind of idiot. I felt a shiver slide up my spine. This wasn't about the dog. This wasn't even about the cartoon. This was about his ego. His fragile, glass-thin pride that shattered at the slightest tap. Evan, I whispered. I wasn't trying to embarrass you. But he talked over me. Loud, sharp, spitting anger like venom. You think you're smarter than me? Better than me? You think you can disrespect me anytime you want? My chest tightened. This wasn't the man I started dating. This wasn't the sweet, funny guy who showed me pictures of his dog and laughed when I mispronounced wine brands. This was someone else. Someone dangerous. I tried to step back. He followed. You're not going to talk down to me anymore, he growled. Ever. That was the moment the fear hit my bloodstream like ice. This wasn't embarrassment. This was control. This was dominance. This was something he'd been hiding under layers of charm and humor, something that had been waiting for a crack to seep through. And that crack was one harmless correction about a dog's name. I slept on the couch that night, hugging a blanket and shaking quietly in the dark while Evan slammed drawers and muttered angrily in the bedroom. I replayed everything in my mind, desperate to make sense of it. Why did something so tiny trigger such a massive reaction? Why did his ego feel like a ticking bomb strapped to both of us? But deep down I already knew. Evan wasn't upset about the dog. He was upset I'd exposed a weakness, a flaw, a mistake. And fragile men never forgive the person who discovers their cracks. They punish them. The next morning, while Evan showered, his dog, sweet, scruffy little Johnny Donnie, jumped onto the couch beside me. I stroked his fur and whispered, "You're a good boy, no matter what your name is." He licked my cheek. I smiled through the ache in my chest. But then something caught my eye. His collar. The metal ID tag wasn't a standard engraved one. It was a custom one, etched with tiny hand-carved letters. Johnny, property of Evan Carter. Do not touch without permission. I froze. Property of Evan? Do not touch without permission? Who puts that on a dog collar? Unless the dog wasn't the only thing he felt ownership over. A chill crawled down my spine as memories started connecting. The way Evan got irritated whenever someone else pet his dog. The way he'd get annoyed when I held Johnny for too long. The possessive way he said "my boy," not lovingly, but like ownership. And suddenly I realized this wasn't about the dog's name. This was about control. He liked things exactly his way. And anyone that challenged him, he resented, punished, tried to dominate, and I had unknowingly broken the number one rule in his twisted little world. Never make him feel wrong. Never make him feel small. Because men like Evan didn't correct mistakes. They corrected people. Over the next week, things got worse. He nitpicked everything I said, everything I did, everything I wore. He accused me of trying to undermine him. When I disagreed with a movie rating, he quoted. He snapped at me for challenging his authority when I reminded him his rent was due. He started jokingly calling me Little Miss Know-It-All, Professor, Smart Mouth, Smarty Girl, every nickname dripping with bitterness, every word meant to put me in my place. But the final straw wasn't what he said to me. It was what he said to his dog. One night, while I was in the kitchen, I heard him speaking sharply in the living room. "No, don't look at her. Sit, stay. Eyes on me, Johnny." His voice was cold, commanding, more like a drill sergeant than a pet owner. "You don't listen to anyone but me. Understand? I'm your master, not her, me." My breath caught. This wasn't normal. This wasn't healthy. This wasn't love, not for his dog, and definitely not for me. That was the moment I knew. I had to leave, quietly, safely, without warning. Men like Evan didn't handle rejection. They snapped, and I wasn't going to become another one of his possessions to correct. But leaving wasn't enough. Not after everything he said, everything he did, everything he tried to make me feel. No, he needed to learn what it felt like to lose control, to lose the thing he cared about most, to lose the one creature he actually loved more than himself. And that's when the idea hit me. A dangerous idea. A perfect one. A revenge so poetic it made my pulse tremble. I wasn't going to hurt him. No, I was going to free the only innocent soul trapped in his toxic little world. His dog. His pride. His property. I was going to take Johnny away from him. Not steal. Not kidnap. No, I was going to expose him. Publicly. Legally. Irreversibly. And when the truth came out, Evan wasn't going to lose a girlfriend. He was going to lose everything. I didn't leave immediately. Men like Evan fall apart only when they're exposed carefully. Strategically, publicly. And if he thought he could control me, the way he controlled that poor dog, then he deserved to feel what it's like to become powerless, in the one place he worshipped most, his image. Phase 1 was simple. I needed evidence, not dramatic screenshots or out-of-context recordings. Real proof, patterns, behavior, commands, snaps of anger, moments of dominance. Evan had no idea that every time he raised his voice at Johnny, every time he snatched the leash, every time he screamed, "I own you," he was giving me ammunition. I placed my phone on silent, camera rolling, tucked under a blanket on the couch. For 3 days straight, I collected everything. The most damning clips were the ones he didn't even think twice about. Him yelling inches from the dog's face. Him screaming, "Sit down! Don't look at her unless I say so!" Him jerking the collar so hard Johnny whimpered. Him ranting about respect and obedience like he was training a soldier. Every new video made my stomach twist tighter. But it also sharpened my focus. Because this wasn't just about me anymore. This was about the innocent creature trapped in his ego's prison. The night everything snapped was a Thursday. Evan came home irritated. Loud footsteps. Short breaths. That pre-anger tension that clung to him like smoke. Johnny greeted him at the door, tail wagging. Too excited. Too happy. And Evan didn't like that. He grabbed Johnny's collar and snapped. Too hyper. How many times do I have to teach you? He didn't hit him. Evan wasn't the type to leave visible scars. No, he preferred psychological damage. Anger through tone. Domination through fear. Obedience through intimidation. But that night, seeing him tower over that trembling little dog, something inside me broke. I stepped between them. Stop yelling at him. Evan's head jerked up. His jaw clenched. A vein in his temple pulsed. What did you just say? You heard me, I whispered. He took a slow step toward me. Cold, controlled. The kind of calm that comes right before a storm. You don't get to tell me how to discipline my dog. He's scared of you. He's supposed to be. That line, that final horrifying confession, lit something inside me. Not fear, not sadness. Purpose. Revenge. Johnny whimpered behind me, pressing himself against my leg. Evan smirked. You know what? Maybe I've been too nice to both of you. And right then, I realized something deeper. Evan wasn't losing control. He was escalating, and if I didn't act now, he would escalate past words. He went to shower, muttering angrily about disrespect. The second the water turned on, I moved. Fast. Quiet. Precise. I grabbed Johnny, his leash, his food, his vet records, the SD card with all the videos, and the backup flash drive, and I walked out the door. Not running, not panicking. Just walking, because I knew if I ran I'd look afraid. And I wasn't. Not anymore. The moment the cold night air hit my face, Johnny pressed his head into my chest. He wasn't shaking because of the cold. He was shaking because for the first time, he was out of that apartment without fear dictating his steps. I whispered into his fur. You're safe now. I promise. I drove straight to Pennington Animal Welfare, the rescue organization Evan always bragged about donating to. The director, Marlene, listened to every word. Then I showed her the videos. She didn't breathe for a full 10 seconds. She whispered, this is abuse. Not the kind that leaves stitches in casts. The kind that breaks a dog's spirit. The kind that courts take seriously. And the moment she said the word abuse, something clicked inside me. I wasn't just revenge-driven. I was justified. Marlene explained the law clearly. If he's psychologically harming the animal, if he's creating a dangerous environment, we can intervene. And if you're willing to testify, we can take this further. I didn't hesitate. I'm willing. The next morning, I contacted the rescue, the vet, his HOA, his landlord, and most importantly, his company. Because Evan wasn't just any employee. He was a regional spokesperson for a major pet care brand. The same brand that preached love, compassion, respect, and I had video evidence of their spokesperson doing the exact opposite. I sent everything anonymously at first, then officially through the rescue. Within hours, his company responded, not with a PR script, not with corporate coldness, with outrage, with disgust, with termination, effective immediately. And the best part? Their statement went public. We do not tolerate mistreatment of animals from employees representing our brand. The internet did what it always does. Exploded, posted, shared, stitched, commented. Evan wasn't just fired. He was exposed. He called me 27 times. Then messages. You ruined my life. What did you do? You had no right. Bring my dog back. Johnny, my dog. The irony almost made me laugh. He relied on power to control people. But now, he had none. Not his job, not his reputation, not his dog, not me. I blocked him. But I wasn't done. With the rescue and the vet's statements, we filed an official petition for removal of ownership. Not temporary fostering, not shared custody, permanent. When Evan walked into that hearing room, he didn't look like the composed, confident man everyone knew. He looked hollow, panicked, eyes frantic. He tried to argue. He tried to gaslight. He tried to cry. But when the judge played the video where he grabbed Johnny's collar and yelled, I own you. Do you hear me? You listen to me. The judge didn't even hesitate. Custody revoked. Permanently. He wasn't allowed near the dog again, not within 500 feet. When the gavel hit the wood, his face crumpled. For the first time, his anger wasn't directed at me. It was directed inward. At himself. Because deep down he knew. He handed me his downfall. One command at a time. After losing the dog, Evan lost. His apartment, couldn't afford the rent. His friends, none wanted to defend him publicly. His sponsorship deals. His reputation, and his unshakable pride. He even tried to post a long, rambling social media video blaming me. But the comments were brutal. Dude, she saved the dog. Bro admitted his own abuse on camera. You were controlling both of them. She protected that dog more than you ever did. His attempts at sympathy turned into digital humiliation. He deleted the video within hours. But screenshots never die. Johnny, now officially renamed Donnie, has changed completely. No more trembling. No more shrinking at footsteps. No more waiting for commands like they were threats. He runs. He plays. He naps belly up with complete trust. Sometimes he even looks at me like he knows. Really knows. I saved him, and maybe I saved myself too, because Evan taught me something important. Some men don't break when you challenge them. They break when they lose control. Last week, I saw Evan by accident at a local grocery store. He looked different. Not physically, emotionally. Small, deflated, like someone had pressed the air out of his ego. He saw me holding Donnie's leash. His eyes widened, mouth trembling. He whispered, "You took everything from me." I leaned down, scratched Donnie's ears, then looked him dead in the eyes. "No," I said softly. "I just freed what was never yours to control." And then I walked away. Evan didn't follow. He just stood there alone, watching the only creature he ever loved walk away without looking back. Some revenge stories are loud, explosive, violent. Mine wasn't. Mine was justice. Slow, legal, public, poetic. Because sometimes the best revenge is showing someone the mirror they spent their whole life avoiding and making sure the world sees it too.